Aquarius, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. There's always an extended reading, which I will post the link to in the description box, as well as I'll pin it to the top of the comments as well. I hope you guys join me for that. And you can also consider joining the Unbound membership to this channel, which will give you unlimited access to all the channel perks and all of the extended readings for the life of your membership. Aquarius, this isn't going to be the easiest week for you. Actually, that's not true. It's not about easy, is it? It is about this wonderful release that I think you really need. But there is a lot of contention, and that contention surrounds that square between Uranus and Saturn. Why is it going to impact you especially? It's impacting you especially because those are both your ruling dignitaries. Saturn is your traditional ruler and Uranus is your modern ruler. And there's a real contrast between the two of them. They really are both about quality control and doing things perfectly. But they are also very different in that one, Uranus, which is your modern ruler, seeks to push things forward and change things. And it can even be rebellious just for the sake of rebelling, which could also be like sort of the shadow side of that energy. And then we have Saturn, which is all about playing by the rules, creating the rules, being the rules themselves, all about restrictions and staying within the lines, because even though the lines may be crappy, we know them, and what we know is better than what we don't know. And Uranus instead turns around and says, well, let's use what we do know to look into what we don't know. And I think that that's really the best way that you can apply this very contentious energy that's going on in your life right now. You could be experiencing a lot of conflicts generationally, if they're the family conflicts or conflicts with what your parents expected of you versus what you want to do with your life. And it may not even be that you're arguing with them, just how you're feeling inside about, have I done enough? Am I enough? Those kind of questions are really going to be, and I'm sure they started last year, because this is when this Uranus-Saturn square started big time. And now it's going to be, it's just front and center for the rest of this year. And the end of this year is going to be really just a lot of kind of wacky changes that are happening. And you guys could actually really feel like you're kind of sandwiched right in the center, so feeling a lot of pressure, even if nothing is really going on in your life, but because it's universal, you're going to feel that pressure and that stress. And if that's the case, I would just take some deep breaths and meditate. Air signs, it always behooves you to meditate, because the breath is a grounding source, the source of rooting yourself. And since it uses air, it's just extremely, it's just really good for you being an air sign. It's the best way to ground yourself. What do I want to say? There's this beautiful new moon that's coming tomorrow, and it is in the opposite sign from you. So it is Leo. It's a new moon in Leo. And Saturn, of course, is still in Aquarius, so it is in direct opposition to Saturn. So there is just a lot of energy surrounding pushing against the established norms right now. And you may feel a lot of pressure in, why isn't this happening quicker? And since Mars is currently part of that square, there's a grand cross in the sky, which means we have a huge block, like a huge square of conflicts this week. I think they're going to explode, or at least there's going to be a major breakthrough starting at this new moon and through this weekend. So that's why I hesitated to tell you guys, hey, this is a really challenging week, because it could very well be the relief that you need. Though if you look at next week's chart, then the tensions survive, and there's a lot of conflicts going on with Uranus then too. So I feel like this is just sort of that supercharged energy pushing off for you guys of having to, a lot of confrontations, having to face a lot of decisions about how you're going to move forward. And really the major conflict, I think we talked about this last week, what are you going to leave behind and what are you going to keep? Because the biggest mistake that Uranus makes is it throws the baby out with the bathwater. It's let's get rid of everything old. And it ends up really doing a bad thing and an injustice, because some things are constants. They shouldn't be let go of. And Saturn does a really, really poor job of letting go. Its bad habit is to hold on at whatever cost, because change is bad. And these two, hopefully in some ways, will explode on each other, and in that explosion create a perfect balance in your life. So even though it feels really tense right now, I see that there's going to be some just like beautiful revelations and clarity that come to you over the next couple of weeks. So we have turn knowledge into wisdom, set healthy boundaries, and time to collaborate. And remember, guys, I always want to know how you are being impacted by this energy. So please leave your comments below, and be sure to like this video as well, and subscribe to the channel, because Aquarius readings come out every single Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. so then you'll get notified. Turn knowledge into wisdom deals with the moon. It's Piscean energy, but it's also saying wisdom is knowing to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Wisdom is knowing that what is good and what is bad. And it's almost, wisdom isn't a sense of knowing, it's a state of being. You are wise. You don't know wisdom, you are wise, right? Wisdom is a state of being. So there's a sense of patience and observance that's being suggested for you right now, to sort of calm down this almost drive to be reactionary, because Uranus is conjunct Mars. There is this incessant need or demand to make change happen now. And it could even be a little bit of a blessing, this square to Saturn, until Mars moves away, because there could be too much impulsivity or impetuous decision making. So turn knowledge into wisdom and set healthy boundaries. So right off the bat, you've already been through a lot. You've already been through enough to know this current situation that you're going through needs your patience and it needs your patience and step by step, taking one step at a time. Give yourself the time. You're not going to feel like you have the time, and that's really the challenge to Saturn, because Saturn is time, right? It's that sense of you feel like you don't have enough time. That is a lie. That is a deception. And once that conjunction with Mars clears, I don't think it'll be so tense on you. I feel like you'll still feel the tension, but right now there's a sense of set healthy boundaries. Let some boundaries stand, or establish some new boundaries that may not be there yet. Be wise enough to realize that not all the boundaries need to come down. And the first boundary is time. Time is not always horrible, right? Time is not always bad. Sometimes you can make time go on your side. And how do you do that? Breath. Breath will help to connect you to the rhythm around you. And that's what I really mean by time. It's the timing of the universe, not the time that Saturn keeps, right? It's the timing of the universe, and to know when to properly act or engage. And you definitely have to set some healthy boundaries. You've been here before, whether you're dealing with a person, and this is talking about a relationship for you, or whether you are talking about work, whatever it is, you've been here before and you've been through it enough, and it's almost like you've already learned the hard lessons. You already know. So allow your intuition to guide you there, because it's sort of the useful part of your memory that's helping to assist you right now. And it's time to ask for help. don't try to go for this solo. And I think that sometimes people think of establishing boundaries is like blocking yourself in, or how do I do it by myself? And that's not true, because when you delegate responsibilities, you are also setting a boundary. So it's kind of saying that to you. It's saying, hey, set the boundary, set this boundary, collaborate, let people know what help you need or what help you can give. Perhaps you're giving help, or you're saying to somebody, you can't do this on your own. I know it. Let me tell you how I can help you, and I'm happy to help you. And you know what? I think that will work out really, really well for you. But let's talk about the past, because we got a bunch of cards sitting over here that need attention. Time to let go. Feel that? That's letting go. And that's another way that breathing can really help you right now, is help you actually get in touch with, I have to let go. And this is how I let go. I can let go of the air in my lungs, first and foremost. Other things aren't going to come as easy, but if you can root yourself in that simple and natural act, those bigger things, those larger things become easier to do. Time to let go of something that has been nagging at your heart. But this is coming in the past. So what this is telling me, 1111, is that you're realizing it's almost deja vu for you. You're seeing that this is happening again. May not be to you. It could very well be to somebody else that you are loving, or that you love a great deal, or you're connected to. And so it's saying, hey, it's almost like you're giving advice, or you're starting to realize, or you're starting to realize through what you see in front of you, somebody else going through, that you're starting to realize why you need to set boundaries for yourself, or why it was so important to set these boundaries. You know, sometimes, especially in the situations of those of you who have children, when you start to see your children going through things, you start to realize, wow, I really should have set those boundaries better. Or, wow, I know what this heartache feels like exactly. Let me share what I've learned. Something simple like that. Open to infinite possibilities. So this is your card. The star card represents you. Time to let go of what you used to think you were expected to be, or who you were expected to be. And time to let people know very clearly who you are. That's very clear. And then we have be generous of spirit is also coming out in the past. So this is Leo energy. Opposites attract, oppositional energy. Let go of that opposition making you, or that oppositional behavior inside of yourself, defining who you are, you know, because that's not who you are. And sometimes it ends up being an easy way for really manipulative people to control you, if they know that you just want to do things differently. Okay, that they can push you into that a corner that way, you know. Or have you cornered yourself? Like, how have I cornered myself by trying to be so expansive and be so different that I haven't really been true to what really matters to me and what I really care about? So what restrictions have you put on yourself to be this self that was an invention instead of a truth? And time now to get to the truth of who you are. And then we have time to heal, and this is Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy is about sort of inciting this energy or heat inside of you to induce energy, or create energy, or get your body into the motion of being energized, so that you can heal, so that you can push out the toxicity of stagnation. So there's definitely a sense, and you can see 5-5, that adds up to 10, which is you've completed a cycle. There's a certain joy here, or you're done, you're ready to release. There's also a sense of change. 5-5 is change. It's also very masculine energy of take action. So it's what action can you take to release those pressures of what you felt you had to be different from somebody else, because somehow you thought being different was more authentic. Maybe it's not. Maybe what's authentic to you is the most boring thing on the earth. But as long as it's authentic to you, it's not going to be boring, and it's what God has assigned for you. It's got nothing to do, you know, it can be egotistical to just rebel against things too. You know, the new answer, the new way is not always the right solution. This is about like expelling the poison, expelling the toxin, letting go of this toxic perception of what you think you have to be in order to be special or be seen, and ultimately setting those boundaries or helping somebody. I feel like in some ways there's some sort of instruction going on here, but it could just be letting people know very clearly that this is what matters to me, and this is who I am. And maybe in some ways that is what is going to prepare you for this collaboration with somebody else, whether that be romantic, whether that be business, partnership, doesn't matter. It's once you are comfortable with who you are, then conflicts with who you're trying to work with or who you're trying to develop a relationship with, it's not going to be so conflicting, because knowing who you are is a clarification point. It's clarity. It's when you're clear on who you are, then nobody from the outside can get in the way of that. There's no challenge, there's no conflict. Time to collaborate, set healthy boundaries. There is something new coming into your life. And because it is in Leo, it could represent a new relationship or a new opportunity of your purpose or your divine purpose in life. So whatever, you have been setting your intentions and putting your purpose into now, that could be building a new business. It could be, happy birthday, Doug Danny, starting a new job. It could be, whatever it is, it's something that you have experienced a lot of experience with, because there is wisdom, and you know better now that when working with somebody, it's like this is a chance to do things differently than you would have the first time around. I don't know why these cards are calling to me, but let's just keep into it. We have Scorpio energy, and we started off with Scorpio energy, which is about us. It's about leveling up. It's about rebirth. It's about you're not the same person as you used to be. And then this is a council. So it's almost like in some ways rising to the occasion of, yes, being judged or going before a board or I don't know, whatever it is. I always think of giving a dissertation or being qualified in some way. And it's almost like people are going to be able to see that you actually really have changed. That this isn't just some concept you're throwing around or working on. This is that the powers that be, the people around you, I'm sorry, I don't know why this is off. The powers that be, the people around you are really, they see you've changed. So this is like kaboom. I feel like for you, then what this reading is telling me is this is almost like an eggshell moment. But it's this TED talk that I was listening to yesterday, that this is the egg cracking from the inside. The egg cracking from the outside means death and destruction and ruin, right? All the king's horses and all the king's men could never put Humpty back together again. But an egg cracking from the inside means new life and birth and potential and opportunity. And so that's what the cards are sending a message for you. That's the message, that this is definitely like the real beginning of your new life. Though it seems like you had been working up to this for a while, this is the real beginning of the new you and being seen in a completely different way or taking on a completely new role. You're prepared for it, you're ready for it. And honestly, with this Scorpio card here, there's nothing else you could be at this point, because a caterpillar is no longer a butterfly. The caterpillars just, they don't have all those legs to creepy crawl or stick on branches, or they don't have the appetite to eat all those leaves. I don't think butterflies eat leaves. I think they suck nectar. You can't be who you were anymore. So this is a really momentous breakthrough period for you and your personal growth that is really contrary to all those expectations of the crowd, of the family, whatever they were in the past. This really marks you being actually seen as something different, something new. And then we have 9, and then love. So this is really beautiful energy, which means that there is a sense of you are ready for a new connection. You are ready for being able to be seen differently. And yes, you can reverse this energy and say, I now see somebody completely differently. And that could be happening to you too. This just seeing a situation or a person completely differently, whether it's happening to you or it's happening through you, that is what's happening. Let's see how it pans out in specific areas of your life. I hope you join me for the extended. I'll see you guys there. The link is below.